Where's that person? Husband and son are facing corruption charges. They sent her to my case so they can release or smoothen the pathway for the husband and the son.
Who are the lights?
They are facing. It doesn't matter if the office. In a corrupt society, that's what happens. They are very, very corrupt. There is a breach of judicial oath. They have violated the judicial oath. They have shown bias according to Supreme Court. They are biased against me. Supreme Court said so. And that is why what is happening in the judgments and rulings concerning me has been happening. So, disobedience to superior court orders. Supreme Court said you are biased.
So right now, there's real tension in Abuja. The courtroom is charged with mixed emotions as Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the Indigenous People of Biafra, stands his ground and tells the judge he has no case to answer. My people, that statement alone threw the whole courtroom into confusion. The prosecution was shocked. The supporters in court couldn't hold their breath. And the judge had to calm everyone down. Now, before I go deeper, please make sure you like this video right now and subscribe so you won't miss the next update. Because what's happening now in this trial could shape how justice is seen in Nigeria for years to come. So, here's exactly what happened. The Federal High Court in Abuja resumed the trial, and everyone was expecting Kanu to start presenting his defense. Maybe call witnesses, give his own version of the story, or respond to the terrorism charges against him. But instead, he shocked the court. He stood up and said, "I have no case to answer." Just like that. He's insisting that the charges against him are invalid, and that the whole trial itself should not even be happening. Now, if you're listening carefully, what he's doing here is called a no-case submission. It means he believes that the evidence the government has brought so far does not prove any offense, so there's no need for him to defend himself. He's saying the prosecution has failed to make a proper case. But the government lawyers quickly opposed that. They said, no, this case must continue. They want him to open his defense. And that's where the confusion started. The court got a bit tense because everyone knew this moment could decide whether the trial goes forward or ends right here. Now, if you're watching, please pause a second, hit the like button, subscribe, and tell me in the comment section, do you agree with Kanu that he has no case to answer, or do you think he should defend himself? I really want to see what you think. So, as the argument continued, Kanu repeated that the charges are not valid under Nigerian law. Remember, this case is about allegations of terrorism and unlawful broadcasting. The government says he encouraged violence and threatened national unity through IPOB's activities. But Kanu says that's false, and even more importantly, that those laws don't apply to him because of how he was brought back to Nigeria from Kenya in 2021. He believes that since the manner of his arrest, or what his lawyers call extraordinary rendition, was unlawful, the whole trial has no legal foundation. And that's a serious point, because international law and Nigerian law both say an accused person has to be properly brought before the court. So this is not just him refusing to speak. It's a deeper challenge to the process itself. Now, when the judge heard all this, she warned Kanu politely that if he continues to refuse to present a defense, the court might have no choice but to move ahead and base its judgment only on the evidence presented by the prosecution, meaning, if you don't defend yourself, the court can decide your fate using only the other side's story. At that point, there was silence in the courtroom. You could almost hear hearts beating. And Kanu said again that he stands by his decision. So the judge had to adjourn for further consideration. Now, this is where things get really interesting, because this decision could change everything. If the court agrees that he has no case to answer, then that means the charges collapse. He could walk free, or at least the case gets struck out. But if the court says there is a case, then he'll have to face a full defense, possibly call witnesses, and go through cross-examination. So either way, the next ruling will be a defining moment. Before I go on, if you're following and enjoying this breakdown, please like this video, subscribe right now, and turn on notifications, because I'll be bringing every single update from this trial as it unfolds. Now, let's talk about why Kanu's no case argument has drawn so much attention. You see, in Nigeria, a no case submission is not something judges take lightly. It means the defense is telling the court that even if everything the prosecution said is true, it still doesn't prove the accused committed a crime. So, the judge has to look carefully. Did the government actually prove any of the charges beyond reasonable doubt? If not, then there's no need for a defense. And remember, this case is not just legal, it's deeply political. For years, Kanu's name has been tied to agitation for Biafra, which divides opinions sharply across Nigeria. Some see him as a freedom fighter, others see him as a lawbreaker. But what everyone agrees on is that his trial has become a test of Nigeria's justice system, whether it's truly fair or influenced by politics. Now, pause for a moment and think. If a person feels they've been unjustly treated, what's the right way for the system to respond? Should justice be about punishment or about fair hearing and due process? Tell me what you think in the comments. And again, don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Another major twist here is that Kanu recently dismissed his legal team. Yes, he's now representing himself. That's very rare in a high-profile case like this. Legal experts say it's a risky move because handling such a complex matter alone can be tough. But it also means he fully controls his own arguments. Some say he's doing it to show courage. Others say it's strategy to draw more global attention. Meanwhile, the federal government insists the case must go on. They say this is about national security, not politics. They've presented witnesses, digital recordings, and other materials to show that IPOB's activities were linked to attacks in parts of the southeast. Kanu, on his part, denies everything and says he never promoted violence, that he only called for self-determination through lawful means. So right now, it's like a legal chess game. Each side watching the other, waiting for the next move. And Nigerians are watching too, because whatever happens here could set a precedent for how future cases like this will be handled. Now, let's look at the public reaction. After the last court session, you could see mixed feelings online. Some supporters were celebrating Kanu's confidence, saying he's standing strong. Others were worried that refusing to defend himself could backfire. You see, if the court rules there is a case, and he didn't defend, then the judgment might go against him easily. It's a very risky step, but one that could also be historic if it goes his way. If you're still here, please hit the like button right now. It really helps this channel reach more people. And subscribe, because I will be bringing detailed analysis on what the judge's final decision could mean for Nigeria's legal and political system. Now, there's another layer: international attention. Because Kanu holds British citizenship, the United Kingdom and some international human rights organizations are watching this case closely. They want to see whether Nigeria follows due process. Every time there's a court sitting, it makes international headlines. So, this trial is not just about Nigeria anymore. It's global. Now, think about this. If the court agrees with Kanu that the charges are not valid, it would send a strong message about judicial independence. But if the court insists the trial must continue, then we might be in for a long legal battle. Either way, this is one of the most watched court cases in Africa right now. So my question to you: do you think the court will side with Kanu or with the federal government? Drop your answer below. Type Kanu wins or FG wins. Let's see your view. And again, don't forget to like and subscribe. At this stage, tension is rising. Supporters are calling for his release, while security agents are keeping a close watch to prevent any disruption. The government says they're ready to ensure order. The next hearing date will likely determine the direction, whether the case is struck out or whether the court moves straight to judgment. So that's where things stand right now. A case full of suspense, emotion, and big legal questions. One man saying he has no case, a government saying he must answer, and a court sitting in the middle, balancing law, politics, and national unity. We'll see how it ends, but one thing is certain: the outcome will shape how Nigerians see justice in this country for a long time. If you've watched up to this point, thank you. Please like this video right now, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you'll get my next update as soon as the court delivers its decision.